This committee's asked, and our colleagues have asked, repeated questions about Facebook and in particular knowledge of the Russian ads. When we took evidence in February from Simon Milner, we asked him why they didn't look for activity of Russian ads, why they didn't report it, and he said it was something the company didn't know it had to look for. But we know from a recent investigation by the New York Times that Facebook was aware as a company much earlier that these ads were being placed and run. They didn't report it to anyone at the time, and during the period when we were asking questions about it, no one disclosed that the company was aware of this information earlier. The impression that was given was that it wasn't until the request was made by the US Senate Intelligence Committee and Facebook was then asked to look for this activity that they knew it existed. But the company had known a long time before it existed, but never disclosed that fact.
The one that we were aware of earliest was attempts to hack accounts. So we became aware of this group. We understood something about their operations. We subsequently received information to suggest that the same group had created some of these pages and were using the pages and ads to sow civil discord.
Should I just start by apologising? My computer went off there. We're all online all the time. Now, we didn't get a real clear answer as to why Facebook ignored, fought back.
This information came into the public domain about the company's knowledge because of a separate investigation, not in the multiple hearings that the company's attended where it's been asked these questions. And can you not see that this has caused a massive breach of trust, not just between parliaments with the company, but with many people who watch these deliberations as well? And you know, I'm not sure there's really an answer to that question. I think that information should have been disclosed. I mean, are there other incidents of Russian activity on Facebook in terms of accessing data that we should be aware of?
So our policy at the moment is once we have confirmed information about any of this kind of attempts at interference, whoever that should be from, that once we've investigated, once we understand accurately what's occurred, then we will publish it. And you will know, if you've been following the activities of our security team, that over the last few months, we have published several quite extensive reports describing attempts to create false properties on Facebook from both Russians and actually more recently from Iranian sources. So in the United Kingdom, for example, there was an attempt by a group of Iranian operatives, we believe, to create false information on Facebook. We researched that, we found the evidence, we published it.
Facebook's decision on data and privacy controls that led to the Cambridge Analytica scandal.
The DCMS committee has received a substantial number of documents from 643, an app developer company in California. We don't intend to publish those documents today. We're not in a position to do that. But given your statement, there is one item within those documents that I think is of considerable public interest and I think relates to the point you've made. I want to put this to you, is that an engineer at Facebook notified the company in October 2014 that entities with Russian IP addresses have been using a Pinterest API key to pull over 3 billion data points a day through the Ordered Friends API.
The context I'm giving is really to say any information that you have seen that's contained within that cache of emails is at best partial and at worst potentially misleading. On the specific question of whether or not we believe, or based on our subsequent investigations, that there was activity by Russians at that time, I will come back to you, but I do want to set that context that those emails are unverified, partial account from a source who has a particular angle.
Huge scandal. I wanted to say that to start with, and to say that fortunately enough the world public opinion